Yamila currently works as a security researcher in 11th Path, and today she's going to talk about disclosing corporate secrets via video conference. So please give a warm welcome to Yamila, who comes from Argentina for us.
Well, it's right. Well, my name is Yamila. I work at 11th Path. 11th Path is Telefónica cybersecurity unit as a security researcher, and we are going to talk a bit about the security of video conferencing systems. Sorry, I move a lot about in the stage. I can't help it. Well, before starting the talk, I want to tell you two things. The first one is that I organized the talk as a story because I like it and I think it's funnier. And the second one is that I come from Argentina. Yes, I think you might know my country, but some of these things. Messi, I think all of you knows Messi, yes? Yes, but dulce de leche? Who knows dulce de leche? Oh, okay. You are going to be so happy today. Okay. An asado? Yes, asado. Well, I couldn't bring Messi. I couldn't bring asado with me, but I did bring conitos de dulce de leche, is that thing right here. And after the talk, I will be putting, I think, just over there for you to try it. Yes? Because I want you to try some of a little bit from Argentina. Well.
Did you bring Messi?
No, I tried, but Messi didn't want to come with me also. Okay, well, as I said before, I work as a security researcher in 11th Path, but I also collaborate with an international organization whose goal is to combat organized crime. They know me as Asian Storm, hence the pretty picture of Storm. Well, one night I was chilling at home, watching Game of Thrones, not the last episode, another one, and drinking Fernet and Coke. The Fernet is really good. And I suddenly received the following message that I want to share with you. I think it's... ¿No se escucha? It doesn't work, the sound? It's just music, but no. Well, if you want, I can sing the song of Mission Impossible. Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. Well, so the mission. The mission is to attack the video conferencing system of Acme Corporation in order to listen to and record the video conference in which they talk about their plans and weapons they are going to use to conquer the world. Well, with the help of Hamsters Against Organized Crime, it's another organization, and we work very close. We were thinking what we could do to complete this mission. And the first thing that we need to find out is which video conferencing system they are using in order to develop the tools that we need to attack it and access the video conferences. So, well. Okay, the first thing we did was to look for Acme in our friend Shodan. And this is real. This is a real domain, and it's very funny. One of the first results was acme.cisco.com. It was great for this presentation, so I have to show you. Well, we scanned this device with Nmap, and we found the ports open HTTP, HTTPS, and XMPP. You already know HTTP, HTTPS. And XMPP is a protocol for instant messaging, formerly known as Jabber. Well, it seems for the open ports like some kind of video conferencing system via the web, because it has opened the HTTP and an HTTPS port. So next, we are going to see what is in this port, in HTTP and HTTPS. And in 443, we found this application, Cisco Meeting App. It seems like some kind of client for a Cisco video conferencing system, but we didn't know what video conferencing system is. So after looking on the internet for a while, we come up to this. So the video conferencing system in use is, I don't know if this, okay, it doesn't, Cisco Meeting Server. Okay. So we already identified the video conferencing system they are using. It's Cisco Meeting Server. But what are the components that Cisco Meeting Server has? What components we could use to attack the system and access and record the video conferences? And how is the infrastructure? So, okay. It seems for the open ports that participants access to video conference using the web browsers. But mobile and desktop applications seems like a very interesting attack vector too. So we could use this too. The infrastructure. Cisco Meeting Server could use a dedicated device, like an appliance. It could use a virtualized environment with VMware or Hyper-V, or the private cloud, AWS. So what are the components? Cisco Meeting Server has an API, and the components SIP and H323 are for signaling for a voice over IP. XMPP, instant messaging, the database, saves the configuration information of the call spaces. Turn allows to host a conference behind a firewall or use NAT, network address translation, to host the conference. The recorder is used for the automatic recording of video conferences. And the web bridge is the component that allows participants to connect to the video conference using their web browsers via WebRTC. The hamster thinks that this slide is very boring, so let's move on with another one. Okay, WebRTC. The component we will focus on is the web bridge that allows to connect to a video conference through our browser using WebRTC. WebRTC stands for Web Real-Time Communication. It's an open source project that aims to incorporate voice, text, and video capabilities into browsers without install any software, any plugin, without needing any more than just the browser. Well, as you can see in the key features, that's from Cisco Meeting Server, anyone can join. You don't need any plugin. You don't need any software. You can use several browsers, like almost every browser. And this is interesting. You can join the conference logging in as a user, or you can join the conference as a guest. That's interesting for us to go unnoticed in our attack. So, well, we're trying to join the meeting using this option. Join meeting is for joining the conference as a guest. Yes, this sign-in is for joining as a user. So, in order to join a conference, we need a conference ID, that is a numeric value, and a passcode, that is also a numeric value. So the first thing we tried was random values. So we always try to random values in everything. So, and we discovered that the response of the server is different if the meeting exists or if the meeting does not exist. Yes, that's the... She's surprised about this information. Okay, I need to explain some configuration and the passcode before moving to the attack. Well, we already know that the conference ID is a numeric value, but it can be any random value. It must belong to a range, to a specific range configured on the server. The passcode is also a numeric value, and it can contain up to 100? No, 1,000? I always mix up with numbers. Well, that characters long, digits long. But really, the users need to type in to join a conference. So generally, they use 4 to 6 digit passcode. I never saw a passcode this long, and I will never see one. And this is a parameter, guest access via ID and passcode. This parameter controls how guests access video conferences. If the parameter is configured in legacy mode, when you enter the conference ID, the server verifies just the conference ID and not the passcode in order to answer if the conference exists or does not exist. Yes, that's with legacy. And in secure mode, the server requires to enter both pieces of data at the same time and verifies the conference ID and the passcode before answering if the conference exists or not. This is important for the attack. Well, we open Z, sub-attack proxy, in order to perform a more detailed analysis. I like burp too, so, but in this case, I just use sub. Well, and we discover that we first need to detect the valid conference ranges. Yes, and in order to then list the video conference active on the server. Well, we discover that we need to make a post request to that URL with the conference ID. You can, for example, you can try with 000, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and so on. And the response of the server varies if the range is valid or not. That's the response for a valid range, and that's the response for an invalid range. Yes? And that's the first part of the attack. We need to detect the valid conference range on the server. So we have the valid ranges. Now we need to list the active conferences on the server. For that, we need to make a post request to. It's the same URL, but with different parameters. the conference ID and a passcode. But the passcode for this test, I will use a blank passcode, a null passcode. And according to the configuration of the parameter of the last slide, this could return, if configured in legacy mode, it will return all active conference. They are without, if they are protected by a passcode, it will return it, and if they are not protected by a passcode, they will return it too. But in secure mode, because we are trying with the blank password, and the server verifies both data before answer if the conference exists, in secure mode, it will only return the conferences not protected by a passcode. It's clear? Yes? Okay, well, that's the response in case of an existing meeting and a correct passcode. And in the other case, is this message, the same as for valid range. Okay, we detected the valid ranges, and we can list the active conferences. But what if we detected conferences protected by a passcode? Okay, so we started to make a test, and we discovered that we could make a brute force or dictionary attack to the passcode. Remember that it's a numeric value, so the number of combinations is not so big, and also, in general, video conferences use passcode from 4 digits, 5 digits, and 6 digits, and I didn't see any conference with more than that. Okay, in order to do this attack, we need to make a post request to this URL with all the information of the conference that we are going to attack. We need to send all this as a parameter. And the passcode will be taken by a list generated by us, a list of passcode generated by us. The response of the server, again, is different, and we can tell if the passcode is wrong or if the passcode is correct. And in that case, just join you to the video conference and start all the negotiation you need to join it. Okay, we send the vulnerability report to Cisco, and I started to write to develop the proof of concept, because it's better to report things with the proof of concept. Cisco, last November, published this advisory. The CVE is that, and that's the Cisco bug ID and the score. So from version 2.5.0, the issue is solved. Yes, it's solved. And I developed 2 tools for the proof of concept. The first one, M33tfinder, it's a Python tool that lists all the active conferences on a Cisco meeting server. And the second tool is called MidBreak, and is used to perform the attack on the passcode. It performs the brute force or the dictionary attack to the passcodes of the conference. Well, se ve. Okay. Well, this is a Python code fragment for M33tfinder. The first function is used to detect the valid ranges, the valid conference ranges. We use async IO and AO HTTP because we need to send multiple simultaneous post requests. The second function is used to detect the valid conference IDs. And this is mid-break. The first function is used to test the passcodes and is called from an asyncio loop. The passcodes are obtained from a file, pins.txt, that contains all the possible passcode with 4, 5, and 6 digits, and we developed that. Well, now let's see the videos of the tool work. In order to use MidFinder, we just need the URL of the syscommitting server to attack. It's just this. The tool at first is trying to detect the valid conference ranges. It detected the range. Sorry. Sorry, I got excited. And no, that's not the one. Now? Yes? I will not touch this. Okay, until the video is finished. Okay, now it's trying to detect the active conferences within the range. It started with conference 6, steering. It sounds interesting, that conference. Committee also could be interesting. Conference 4, 14, 08, 16. (20), 42, 48, 00, that's an interesting one. 27, I think that's the last one. Yes, I think that's the last one. Okay, 01 and 23. Well, MidFinder detected a total of 12 conference calls, and 10 of these conference calls were protected by a passcode. So we are going to use midbreak to try to obtain the passcode of the last conference detected, 60023, telepresencia con países. I did all the tests on a syscommitting server with consent. They allow me to do all these tests. So in order to use midbreak, we need the URL and the conference ID. It's working? No? Oh, fuck. It should start, but... No! Sorry, really, I don't know. It doesn't work. Sorry, it was working a few hours, but I can make it work now. Well, trust me, it works. The passcode was 0881, and we now just, the tools are working, yes, and we need to use them to complete our mission. So, after executing MidFinder several times at different days and at different times to list the active conferences in the ACME server, we detected a promising one. The name is good. ACME World Domination, I like to join that conference. Well, but look, it's protected by a passcode, so we are going to need to use mid-break. Okay. It seems that mid-break work, but let's play a game. Let's play Guess the Passcode game. What do you think the passcode could be? I'll start. The passcode could be 1337 because it's the conference ID and some people use, but no, it's not the passcode. So you? 1, 2, 3, 4, it's interesting, but no. He has a point. The first conito de dulce leche is for you. Okay, yes, 0, 0, 0. This reminds me of something. Do you? Yes. If they could use 0, 0, 0, like 8 zeros, as a top secret code for launching nuclear missiles, okay. So ACME could use 000 as a passcode for a confidential meeting and without problems. Well, we already have the conference ID and the passcode, so we need to join the conference. In order to join the conference, we could just put the data, and you need to select a name, but it could be any name. I choose ACME VIP to avoid suspicions, but it could be Cisco support, Cisco meeting server, guest, it could be anything, yes? But I choose that. Okay, we now could join the conference without our camera and microphone on. I hope after joining, we are able to listen to the entire conferences, and we could record the following audio. I hope it worked. I know it's not, the sound is not, oh, fuck. Okay. You need to trust me. That's all it was really, the design is here, it was an audio, but you can, and it was really good. I used a voice changer, and it was really, really, I worked for that thing. Well, don't worry. Okay, so we have all the evidence we need to complete this mission, so mission accomplished. The hamster is very happy, and so do I. So thank you very much for your attention, and don't forget to come and get the conitos de dulce de leche. I will put, I think, in the table like there. So thank you. I will put it now before the questions.
Thank you so much,
Sorry.
Yamila. We still have a few moments for questions, so yes, let's take time for that. Here you go.
I'll wait for her to get back. I just want to know, was there any form of like brute force throttling, or was there anything of the kind?
I didn't understand.
Was there any kind of brute force throttling? Like when you were guessing the password after like 5 attempts, was there a delay or anything?
For the loop, with simultaneous attempts, I tried. Now, it's not very fast. It's like 50 tries simultaneous.